Show.
All right. What's up, cats and kittens? Episode 233 of the 580 show. Myself and Mr. Petrella. What up?
Hey, how you doing?
You like that new intro?
It's pretty cool. Throwback to the Tiger King days, wasn't that?
Yeah. I'm trying to stay up with the hip times, you know? We're getting old. Trying to stay cool for our new audience.
Tiger King versus the Liver King's happening. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's shit with the Liver King. Like, what, less than or exactly a year ago? Is it exactly a year ago from when all this shit happened with him and Joe Rogan and him going to jail? He sponsored our show 1 year ago from that weekend.
Guess he's still living with the repercussions from that.
Yeah, the only strongman show he ever sponsored, the Liver King, was us. But yeah, a couple topics this week. If you're in the area, a few things for us. Obviously, we have Battle at the Bridge on July 19th. That's in conjunction with ASM as well at the Brady's Run Ice Arena. We're really excited for that. A lot of awesome stuff. Good goodie bags for the competitors. Awesome events. Live stream by Dante himself, which he's working really hard on, which is awesome. We have that. If you're a competitor and you're listening to this on Bridge, I'd really appreciate if you stayed after and watched the ASM guys and girls, because like I'm trying to think, it's gonna be a pretty fast-paced show, but I really would like if we could have a little crowd for ASM. Like we'll get up on the on the floor and get close to them, but I just don't want it to be them competing in front of no one. We took, just so anyone that doesn't know, we took this show like 7 weeks out because the previous ASM, I think they had issues with the venue that was going to host 90s and 82. So it was really last minute for us. I'm happy we were able to do it, but we don't really have a venue that's advantageous for like a crowd. If we would have known before, we could have had one, but the better the more crowd, the better for these athletes, because there's a ton of top athletes coming from all over the U.S. But I'm so excited for Bridge. We've been testing the Zamboni, got all the signage ordered, all the shirts, everything like that. Like I said, the goodie bags. So it's just time to go make it happen now. I'm really excited. We just announced our fall powerlifting meet, October 25th, Hogtoberfest. We do the Hog Mode Classic in the spring, and then Hogtoberfest in October. That's ran by my buddy Ben and his crew, but it's at our gym, so it's our meet as well. And they do a great job. So if you're interested in powerlifting meet, 60 spots, probably a good amount of them are gone already, but October 25th at 580 Barbell. And then the big one, I'll probably put it up tomorrow live for signups, will be PULLER Express 4. Which is crazy. We're in our 4th year of this, Dante. Actually, 5 years of hosting comps with the Pig Iron Classic, but
Can't forget that.
Yeah, no, 6 years. So going on year 6 of promoting shows, but PULLER Express 4, it's gonna be a really fun one. It's at my cousin's CrossFit gym again this year. If you weren't there last year, it's just a really cool venue, especially for a smaller show. So it's capped at 50 people, like we do it every year. And really fun event. So we're doing the North Pole Pull. So I'm going to give you the Christmas names of it, Dante. Okay, the North Pole Pull. What do you think that is?
Sled pull, arm over arm.
Max axle deadlift. Axle all the way, event 2.
An axle ladder.
Axle clean and press away for reps. See if you get this one. Walking in a weighted wonderland.
Yoke.
Conan's wheel.
Okay.
I forget what I named this one, but it's one I'm really excited for, and it's a kind of a rendition of something we've done before. But Cerberus made the new sandstone bags, so they're the shape of an Atlas stone, but they're sandbags, and I bought the whole set for PULLER Express, obviously for our gym to have, for all our athletes to train on. But it's a sandstone bag over bar, max reps in a minute. So instead of having a stone, tacky, things like that damage the floor, we can just do 60 seconds, as many reps as you can. You can go under or around the bar. And then the last event is a reindeer run. Go ahead, Donnie. Try it out. Last event. So we have...
That's when you're pulling the sled.
Nope. We are... Good guess. These are really generic names, so I don't expect you to get them. And this is just proof that I don't tell my guys the events before I release them, just in case any of them want to compete. But it's a max distance farmers. So you have 60 seconds. You can only drop it at the 50, like in the safe drop zone once you pass 50 feet. And you
Hmm.
just go back and forth. If you drop it, you're in between the cones, you're out. So really excited for this year. Max axle deadlift, axle clean and press away. You can clean all of them if you want, but you only have to clean it once. Conan's wheel making a comeback. Sandstone, Cerberus bag over bar, 6 seconds, and a max distance farmers. So that'll be Polar Express 4.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you think, Donnie?
I like it.
You can roast me if you want.
I think my guesses were valid guesses, to be honest.
Oh, they were good. They were good. And events I've done in the past too. So
I
one
think
thing,
the Atlas Stone thing is gonna be interesting.
yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I actually got the bags in already. I've kept them in my house so no one at the gym saw them and got tipped off. But one thing I'm a little
I'm just saying, not that, but we probably would have just assumed that you were just buying some random shit again.
yeah. I'm excited because like say you're prepping for a show and you're doing it has stones in it, right? And you don't want to tacky every week or just train like stones, they fatigue you real bad. So it'd be kind of cool to like undulate those weeks and have like sandstone, like a heavy, you know, you get the basically the same movement as a stone, but it's with a sandbag, a little bit more forgiving, no tacky, doesn't beat you up as bad. So I think it's just another asset for us to train on too. So I got the whole set. It goes from 33 pounds all the way up to over 300. So yeah, excited to get that going. But yeah, next year I think so. We have the All American Pro Am coming up too, as you know, and really excited for that. We'll have a big crowd at the fair for that. Um, Next summer, they asked me to also host a show in the summer at the Beaver County Boom, which last night we were there. It's a big firework festival every year in the summer in our town, and they shut the town down. And they had pro wrestling there last night. They had a ton of stuff for the kids, live concert, like Florida Georgia Line guy was there. It was crazy. You can say it was booming, but they shut it down and had alcohol and everything like that. And they approached me to already run a strongman show there next year. So if the fair doesn't work, maybe I'll do a pro show there or just maybe a little small local show or something like that. Cause the crowd for pro wrestling, and it was like pro wrestling, like wasn't like WWE was in town. It was just like amateur. Dude, the crowd was insane. It was awesome. So like to be able to do that for strongman, I think would be so cool. So that's just something to look out for. But yeah, we got all that stuff coming up. Um, just some little inside 580 stuff. But going on in Strongman this weekend, we had USS Nationals and the Santa Monica Classics going on right now. I don't know how much you've got to tune into the Santa Monica Classic, Donnie, but
Yeah, I was watching a little bit.
dude, it's pretty awesome. I know your boy from ADL is streaming it, right?
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, it's awesome. He does a really good job, and I know you kind of work with him. So, and I think he's definitely a huge help to you and why your streams keep getting better and better. Not you're obviously doing a great job yourself, but I think you learn a lot from him.
Yeah.
And when you watch that, it's like next level stream. It's I think what everyone aspires streams to be. At least for me, I think it's like I mean, you have more insight into it than I do, but like the graphics, it's not overkill, but it's a really tasteful, nice graphic to complement the stream.
Yep.
It's not a blank screen or it's not a million split screens with no barrier or anything like that. Like, and the one thing that I think makes a huge difference is the commentating team. Like I know this year for Bridge, we'll have Sean Fuller and Cody Abel will be on there with them, helping them out as well as a commentating team, mainly led by Sean. Of course, he does ours and he does such a good job. But this was Cale Beck was taking the lead on this, and he obviously knows a lot about strongman. And I think the commentating goes a long way with it as well. So, but the show's awesome. That's what we want to do at the Ocean City Boardwalk, Donnie.
Yeah. We'll have a run show every month.
Yeah, but it's really cool. You can tell Martins and his team or whoever's running it is like, putting a lot of time and effort into it. So I'll be excited. I know today they have like West Coast Strongest Firefighter as well. And they had like mass wrestling in the breaks to break up some like dead space time that's going on between strongman. So implements looked really cool. They had a car deadlift, the frame, log yesterday. So I'll be tuning in today as well. So um, just looks cool. You got the like Ferris wheel in the background, the roller coasters, all that stuff. That's it's cool.
I
You
agree.
have a
It's
little
a nice atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just a fan of like a strongman, especially you have a pretty high level competitor there because I believe that's OSG invites, right?
Yep. I think it's almost like a pro am with OSG. I don't know entirely, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I was
So
reading in the comments.
yeah, but regardless, there's a high level athlete there, so it's cool to get a crowd in front of them, and let those guys and girls, put on
I mean,
the
it's on the beach. I mean, everyone likes
yeah,
to go. If you're walking on the boardwalk, you stop and stare at what's going on. So,
exactly. It's a spectator thing. So, but yeah, I think they're doing an awesome job with that. Um, USS Nationals was yesterday. I thought the first three events went really well. Watching, they started early. They started at 9 a.m. and it was on East Coast time, but the venue looked really cool. The venue
mhm.
looked awesome. Didn't look too big where like you're flooded, but didn't look too small. It looked really cool, and from the athletes I talked to, they said it was a pretty cool venue, which is cool.
Isn't that where they
Um,
originally had OSG before Daytona?
I don't know. I know it's in
Probably
that
mentioned that to
same.
me.
I
Yeah.
thought that I thought OSG was at the Raleigh Convention Center the first year,
I
but maybe I'm wrong because this was the Cal. Forget the name of this venue, but it was not that. But I
mhm.
could be wrong. If anyone knows, drop a comment or shoot us a DM. But it was an awesome looking venue. Um, I thought it was so hard to follow the live stream. I think that's one thing they need to figure out with USS Nationals. Is nothing with the company that was doing the live stream. They just weren't. They're just not prepared. Not really many live stream companies think can do 8 lanes with almost 600 athletes. My idea for it, and I would love to hear your idea because you literally do this. I think they should have 3 or 4 live stream companies handle their own stream for it. So Dante handles lanes 1, 2, and 3. EFL handles lanes 4, 5, and 6. This company handles lanes 7 and 8. You know what I mean? Like, and then that way you can have a focus stream. People are tuning in to watch their people, and it can be better for everyone. Because it's honestly just not even worth having a stream.
I mean, that's kind of what ADL did for Strongman Corp. Now it's like three separate streams for every single lane or whatever.
And that's how, and because it's no knock on the company doing it, honestly. Like they, they did what they can, but they literally didn't talk about the show. It's just two guys doing what we're doing right now, sitting there talking. They're talking, like, it's just, they're not like, oh, look down in lane 8, you got so and so hitting this lane. They can't because they don't even have the names. They didn't know like the heights of in each. It's too much.
Well,
So,
if USS ever wants to get my 2 cents on it, I'm not going to reveal my
what do you
idea
got?
in my head, but I think I have the solution for a one-man team to do that with the graphics on the screen.
Pay up. Pay up, USS. Hire Donnie Pacella right now. Email 580barbell at
It's all
gmail.com.
theory right now. It needs practice, but I believe I figured it out.
I'm Dante's agent, so email me.
Yeah, you
I
can go.
have
Yeah, that's fine. You can go through Josh. That's fine.
take a
Makes me
small
look
cut.
more
If any other
important.
strongmen want me to represent them, Donnie was very smart and hired me early on to represent them.
Yep.
But no, seriously, that'd be hilarious if you did USS Nationals next year.
I
Be
think I can do
awesome.
it.
Well,
Four
let's go.
cameras. I can. I was watching it and I was like, I think I know how to do this.
Oh, it's in Iowa next year. If you stream it, I'll compete next year. That's a
I
guarantee.
might need you for the commentary.
Yeah, I'll compete and do the Oh yeah, I'll do the commentary next year if you run it.
We'll be back like
I'll run it.
the first Maryland Strongest. Me and you were just commentating and doing the stream.
Yeah, yeah. We actually, what's funny about that? This is really random, and no one that's listening wants to hear about it. But Dom was competing USS Nationals, and someone came up to him and said he knows me and you from the Maryland Strongest live stream. Pretty
That's funny.
funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I honestly thought the venue is cool. It's obviously such a huge show. But the last two events, specifically the last one, I made a story on Instagram today, and I'm not talking shit, or I mean, I kind of am talking shit, I guess, but it's just like I'm not going to be one of those guys that just gets on here and like slobs everything. Every federation, everything, everybody has flaws and stuff, but it's like, man, if you look back, I was talking to someone about it, and they were telling me like 6 years ago it was a sandbag toss, and they literally did the same exact thing 6 years ago and didn't learn. I mean, dude, that sandbag toss apparatus was so embarrassing, and it's such a fuck. It's seriously such a fuck you to the people that pay. And I'm being straight up honest. That was embarrassing. I'm not saying you got to spend $50,000 per apparatus, but Christ Almighty, man, that apparatus was worse than if Dante and I on Friday night we were chilling. We're just sitting at Dante's house playing with his reptiles, and he's like, "Oh shit, I forgot we had to make the apparatuses for USS Nationals. That's tomorrow morning." We literally could have made better apparatuses in 12 hours for the athletes, and that's why it's so frustrating. Like, I know that's USS's big show. That's their big money maker. They have to make a big ton of money off it. If they don't, they're financially the worst people on earth because you have over 600 people sign up after dropouts. And that's good. You should make your money. That's your huge event. You're an organization. You're a business. Make your money. But the way that, dude, that PVC was the worst PVC I've ever seen. Every single one was broken before warm-ups were done. People were thrown to the wrong heights. Half the things were this. Half of them were like this. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not, they were crooked by like a foot. It was just embarrassing, dude. It was so embarrassing. And I would anyone that says I'm slobbing, Strongman Corp or whatever, I'm not. I would say the same shit if they did it. But
And you have. And you have.
yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's just so funny. I talked about it on my Instagram story, but everyone's like, dude, what's it going to take to get Strongman bigger? How are we going to get money? How are we going to... Now, there's a lot of reasons. But imagine showing someone that's a professional mountain biker or a top-level mountain biker and being like, hey, here's our nationals. And they're literally throwing on toothpick PVC that's breaking. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's so embarrassing. And it's like, the frames were breaking too. The frames were made out of wood. I get you do it to save money, but and that's not even it. Whatever. The frames were whatever they were, but dude, those sandbagged. I'm beating a dead horse, but man, that was crazy. And I talked to some competitors. A couple of competitors told me it was whatever we saw in the live stream, and I'm just quoting what people told me. Said whatever you saw in the live stream, it was 10 times worse at the show. And that's just and that was from the apparatus to a lot of rules being changed where people went out of order and they were allowed to do it and stuff like that. It is what it is, man. I know, oh shit, what's his name? Nate Jones. He's a really good lightweight. I competed against him a couple times, I believe. Just competed against him at ASM this last year. He was messaging the promoter, and the promoter was all smug and saying, because he asked him, what happens if a bag gets caught on the bar? Because we all know if you've done bag toss. Dante's got it caught on ours before the show, and you always have a rule for it, right? Because inevitably it's going to happen. And the guy was just being a dick and like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then Nate Jones posted like, well, yeah, no shit. It can't happen because they literally can't get caught on the PVC because it will just snap. So I guess he was right. It can't happen. But yeah. But I circle back and be positive. I'm critical because I promote shows too. I can't fathom how much work USS Nationals is to run with 600 competitors. I'm sure it's a lot. But man, they announced the events over a year out. Like, it's one of those things. It's like you announce the events a year out. I've changed events, like things. I changed bridge. I changed it from a 70-foot yoke to a 50 because it made sense for our venue. And I did that over a month out. And you know how I knew that? Because we went to the venue and we tested stuff.
Tested, yes.
But they changed their yoke carry 3 days out.
3 days out.
3 days out from, I think it was supposed to be 75 feet or 65 feet. They changed to 50.
Interesting.
And that's just like, okay, you haven't checked that, right? Like, the apparatus is stunk. Like, it's the little details. If I'm going to nationals and I'm paying all this money and some people aren't in the greatest financial positions, that's their vacation. That's their time off work. Maybe that's their last PTOs that they're saving up for the year. And like I'm just looking at that, I'm like, man, like fuck you, because it's my time and my money, you know. That's why I like to speak for the people that won't speak up. So that's my 2 cents about the throw apparatus.
I
You
mean, you
know.
still could have had a great time there, and I hope everyone did.
Oh
We're
yeah,
just, we're just
I
saying.
guarantee you're 100% right. I guarantee if I would have went, I had a great time. I love competing in strongman. I love strongman. I only talk about this shit. I mean, we've been doing a free podcast for 233 weeks straight.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking of being
'cause I
free
like to talk
podcasts,
about it.
if anyone wants to pay up, they're more than welcome to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But for right now, we're sponsored by Grip Mountain and 580 Barbell. So
And horsepower.
and horsepower. So, but no, seriously, that's it. I hate to. I don't want to be too negative, but that's just like I said. I had that story, and obviously it's correct because the amount of people that DM me back that were there.
Hmm.
So, but back to the positive stuff. I can't wait to see everyone. I'm excited to compete. If you're listening to this now, I'll be competing in 2 weeks from today at the North Texas Strength Expo at America's Strongest Man 80. I'm back for year two, second year of the 80 kilo ASM. I'll be competing there. And then we're hosting ASM in Bridge the next weekend. And then we'll be hosting it Pro-Am. So hopefully I'll be seeing you guys at one of those shows. I can't wait. I'm overwhelmed by the volunteers. Dante, you have access to our volunteer sheet for Bridge. It's crazy.
Yep.
Over 40 volunteers confirmed for regionals and ASM this year. It's amazing. So it really does take an army to run a strongman comp, especially one with before dropouts. We had 120 signups for Bridge. So we were really last year was the worst show I've ever ran. It went too long, and I learned from the small mistakes we made as a team, and it'll never happen again. That's a guarantee. So this year is gonna run electric, and I cannot wait to see everyone there. I can't thank everyone the support enough of our 580 channel, Dante, myself, everyone that likes, shares, comments. It really does help us out a lot. So that's it. We'll see you guys next week, 234. Anything else, Donnie?
We're back.
See you, boys. We're back.